It's 101.9 The Mix. It's McCabe and Jenny from the Afternoon Mix. And today we are headed to Los Angeles for an artist that has one of the biggest songs on the planet, Paul Russell. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. How about you?
We're doing good, man. Thank you for joining us. How's Los Angeles right now?
Hey, I'm loving it. It's a warm day. It's 80 degrees.
Well, congrats on all your success so far. I mean, this is one song you cannot get out of your head, Lil Boo Thing. Jenny, I know it's like one of her favorite songs. Every time we play it, she won't stop dancing.
It is.
Hey, I love it. Wow. Well, hey, thank you. I
Well,
appreciate it. It was a fun song to make, so I'm glad that people have fun listening to it.
well, Paul, tell us how this all started. I saw that you were mini golfing with your friends when you noticed that a TikTok post was starting to go viral. What was your reaction like?
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I hadn't, I posted it, and at that point it wasn't meant to be a song. It was like, I was listening to Best of My Love and I was like, oh, I love this, maybe I'll get an instrumental and like freestyle to it and make it some content. But yeah, I remember looking at my phone and so many people loved it, and I was getting all these DMs of people being like, release this song, you need to release it. And so I just felt like, okay, I need to go home and I need to make this into a song, clearly. uh and so I did, and here we are.
And I mean, were you a big fan of The Emotions? Was this something growing up listening to? Obviously, it's a huge hit from the 70s, and The Emotions are from Chicago, which is very cool. But
Hey.
it's something you grew up listening to, and you're like, I need to do this. Or was one night or one day you're just at a party or something, you hear it, and you're like, I could do this.
Yeah, I grew up listening to it. My family loves the kind of 70s soul stuff. So yeah, I definitely grew up on that song, on the Emotions in general, and so it was something that I'd always loved, but I'd never thought about sampling it until that day when I was just sitting around. And I loved how the horns in the beginning of the song are just like they make you pay attention. So it just felt like, oh, this is something that someone could use in something new, in a new song. And I didn't at the time think that someone would be me, but it happened.
Great choice. And I saw prior to being full-time in music, you were working as a senior business strategist. What has that transition been like, going from music as a hobby to now a full-time career?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny. I remember when I quit. It's like I had like a commercial shoot that I had gotten invited to be a part of in Barcelona, which was insane. But I didn't tell my job that I, was going to start doing music full time. And so I just leave, and, I'm like there in Barcelona. And I had a friend text me, be like, hey, man, like, you probably should quit because everyone's asking where you are. And so then I just over the phone called in and I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. This music thing has been growing. Like, I want to do this full time. And it's been wild since then. I remember I thought that I would, you know, be just hanging out, sitting around. And I was like, what am I going to do with my time when I don't have a job? But no, it's been way more busy, but that's a good thing.
Have you like talked to any old coworkers now since like the success of everything? Are they like, hey man, can we join you?
Yeah, it's funny. I get messages from like my boss's boss and like my boss's boss's boss of being like, I just heard your song here. I just, which is awesome. Like, it's crazy how, I don't know. It's really weird. Everyone kind of changing and realizing how, what's happening, and calling me and being like, I heard it here. I heard it at this wedding I was at or whatever. So it's beautiful.
And I also want to know the reaction from your mom, because I saw you posted to Instagram. Sorry, mom, looks like I'm going full-time in music. I'm quitting my job. What was her reaction?
Yeah, no, she's happy for me. She's loving it. I remember in the beginning, when I first started doing music, for me it wasn't I want to be a full-time musician. It was like, oh, I'm doing this on the side while I'm also, working or doing school. And I remember, my family being like, oh yeah, like you could tell that like they were happy that I was making music, but they're like, hey, make sure you're focused on, what's going to pay the bills. But now that the music has grown so much, it's like I called them and they see what's happening and they're like, oh yeah, this is a no brainer. You should definitely just be a musician. So it's nice having the support.
And it's working. Now, with Lil Boo Thing, is that specifically about someone when you wrote that song?
I mean, maybe not specifically. I have a little boo thing in my life though.
Okay.
You know. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you
My
sing that
girl.
around the house, like everywhere you go in the kitchen, like you're my little boo thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I mean at this point I've sung it too many times that I that I had to shut up. I had to find a new thing to sing.
I also sing it too many times in the studio.
Yes, I love it.
And Paul, I mean, this song has really escalated your career. And I love in your Instagram bio, it says aspiring two-hit wonder. So hopefully that means more music is on the way. What does that sound like for you? Like I saw something about Y2K.
Yeah, I think the Y2K will come soon enough. I think I like the funk and soul stuff, but I mean I think in general, like the way that I think about it is like the music that I make and the music that I want to make is like cookout music. Like anything that's gonna, you know, when you hear it, you want to just be hanging out with your friends, singing along. Like that's the goal. That's what I'm trying to create. So a lot more coming in that lane.
Well, you are doing that. I feel like we want to hold on to summer, and now summer is done. But with your song, you're like keeping summer alive, you know?
Yeah. That's the hope. It's funny. I was doing like an interview that like with someone who was in Australia, and they're like, "This song is perfect for the fact that summer's about to start." And I was like, "Summer's about to start for you guys."
Now, you know, this might be like a really nerdy question, and you can just do it real quick, but you know, a massive song like that from the Emotions, how hard is it to get the sample? Like what is the kind of process? If you hear the song and you're like, I want to do that, like what are the hoops you have to go through?
Yeah, like you have to get it cleared, which means, you have to get permission for for the sample, for the recording of the song, and for the idea of it, which is the publishing, that was a whole thing to learn for me. I had no idea how any of that worked. So when I made this, and when it was like when it was time to release it, it was like, okay, now I have to figure out how to get this cleared. And it took a lot of time just to understand it and to get into contact with the right people. And I was afraid for a while that it was not going to be able to come out. I was like, oh my gosh, all these people are going to be so mad at me. But I think the label came in, Arista, and they they helped out. We connected, and they were able to get the song cleared. And so the process happened, but at first it was terrifying.
Well, we're glad it happened. I mean, it's always summer somewhere, and it was my official song of the summer, even though it was towards the end. So, Paul, thank you so much for taking the time. I'm looking forward to jamming out to more of your music, and we appreciate you.
Thanks, Paul.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.